Hi there, my name is Deanna Allison, and in this video we'll travel to East Anglia, a region of eastern England, where I'll show you around the city of Norwich in the county of Norfolk. I used to live in this part of the world, and now I live in Austria. So now I'm back in Norwich on vacation with my partner, and I'm going to experience how it feels to be here as a tourist. This is only our second visit in 5 years thanks to the pandemic, and it feels great to be back again. So, what's here for visitors? Well, the answer is lots. It's a historic city with a Norman and medieval heart. I think Norwich is a gorgeous city, and it's often missed by tourists from other countries who centre their visits on London. For us, this is a short visit, just a few days, but with enough time to see plenty of old friends. I reckon that, as far as just sightseeing is concerned, this is the equivalent of a 1 or 2 day trip. But you'll need more than just a couple of days if you want to explore Norwich and Norfolk in depth, including the museums and surrounding areas such as the Norfolk coast and countryside and the Broads National Park with its extensive network of navigable rivers and lakes. If you're new to this part of England, I'd recommend staying for at least a week or two. But still, on our brief visit to Norwich, I've got time to show you some of the things you can see if you only have a limited amount of time to walk around the city. By the way, the Anglo-Saxons settled the site of the modern city sometime between the 5th and 7th centuries, and it has a population estimated in 2021 of about 144,000. So let's take a look at the city centre. This Art Deco building is City Hall, home to the City Council. City Hall was officially opened by King George VI and Queen Elizabeth in 1938. The front of the building incorporates a 200-foot-long balcony that's over 60 metres. In front of City Hall is Norwich Market, one of the oldest and largest outdoor markets in the country. It consists of almost 200 covered stalls. Founded in the latter part of the 11th century to supply Norman merchants and settlers moving to the area following the Norman conquest of England, it replaced an earlier market a short distance away. It has been in operation on the present site for over 900 years. The flint-faced building in the background is the Guildhall, which was built between 1407 and 1413. This building used to house the council chamber before the new City Hall took over, and the quarter sessions and magistrates' courts used to be housed here too. At the bottom of the market, on its eastern side, is Gentleman's Walk, which became a fashionable area in the 18th century. Today it's pedestrianised and serves as an important shopping area. And there, on the corner of London Street and Exchange Street, is Jarrold's, a local department store that's well worth a visit. Looking up from Gentleman's Walk, you can see St. Peter Mancroft, a parish church of the Church of England. Norwich has many churches, but this is the largest one, apart from the cathedrals. The church was originally established in the Norman period between 1066 and 1075 by the Earl of East Anglia, Ralph de Gale, but the church was rebuilt between 1430 and 1455. The church has a ring of 14 bells, dating from between 1775 and 1997. Opposite St. Peter Mancroft is this eye-catching building. It's the Forum, which was finished in 2001, and it replaced the previous Norwich Library on this site, which burned down in 1994. Inside, the Norfolk and Norwich Millennium Library spans all 3 floors. The Forum also houses the BBC East offices and studios, and is home to a citizens' advice centre as well as Cafe Bar Marzano. There's an open mezzanine and a huge glass frontage in front of a Pizza Express restaurant. The Forum is also a great place to meet up with people. The amphitheatre-like steps at the front have provided a venue for functions such as outdoor performances, exhibitions and more. Standing in front of City Hall, you get this view of the War Memorial, and in the background is the market and then Norwich Castle, which was founded sometime between 1066 and 1075. Its construction was ordered by William the Conqueror in the aftermath of the Norman conquest of England, and it was used as a jail from 1220 to 1887. And today it's a museum and art gallery. Below the castle is Castle Meadow, which is home to more shops. This is probably the most convenient place in the city centre to catch a local bus. It's slightly more central than the main bus station. I used to regularly catch the number 12 from here to Wroxham. I love those double-decker buses. I always tried to sit upstairs at the front for the best view. If you walk down Castle Meadow and a bit further beyond and veer off to the left, you eventually come to a busy street called Tombland, which has restaurants, bars, shops and an eclectic mix of buildings. From here you can enter the Anglican Cathedral grounds. This is Erpingham Gate, one of the entrances. The grounds of the cathedral are extensive and offer a peaceful retreat from the hubbub of the city centre. The statue here, not far from the Tombland entrances, is of the Duke of Wellington, the former Prime Minister associated with the Battle of Waterloo and the defeat of Napoleon. The structure of Norwich Cathedral is primarily Norman, being made of flint and mortar and faced with a cream-coloured Caen limestone. The spire, the second tallest in England at 315 feet or 96 metres, is a stone structure built in 1480 that replaced one made of wood. I think a look inside the cathedral is a must for any visitor to Norwich, and don't forget to look up. The roof is magnificent. Take a moment to admire the stonework. Vaulted ceilings like this are true works of art. The cathedral is dedicated to the Holy and Undivided Trinity. It's the cathedral church for the Church of England Diocese of Norwich. Construction of the building was begun in 1096, and the cloisters, begun in 1297, are the second largest cloisters in England. Walking further through the cathedral grounds takes you down to the riverside and Poole's Ferry. The flint building was once a 15th century watergate, and the adjoining ferry house was built in 1647. A canal used to run here. The arch was added much later, and the canal was used to ferry the stone and materials used to build the cathedral. This is the River Wensum, the chalk river upon which the city of Norwich was founded in Saxon times. The river receives its name from the Old English adjective wansum or wensum, which means winding. From this river you can explore a network of 200 kilometres or 120 miles of navigable waterways which are collectively called the Broads. The river is navigable as far upstream as New Mills Yard, which is in the centre of the city. You'll see plenty of boats along the river. Some of them are privately owned, but many are hire craft. This is Bishop Bridge, which was built in 1340, and the Red Lion pub is in the background. This is as far upstream as hired boats are allowed to go. I've been to that pub many times, by the way. It has a great riverside beer garden. The Broads comprise several rivers and a large number of broads or lakes, and the area is also known as the Broads National Park. Norwich is located along the River Wensum above its confluence with the River Yare, about 100 miles or 160 kilometres northeast of London. The river runs through the heart of Norwich, and it's a great area for recreation. There are more pubs and several kilometres of riverside paths on both sides of the river. The rivers and broads are very popular with people on vacation. If you take a short walk upstream from Bishop Bridge, you'll see Cow Tower. It's an artillery tower that was built between 1398 and 1399 by the city authorities in response to the threat from France and indigenous English rebels. The tower was built on one of the approaches to Norwich, in a bend in the River Wensum, in a meadow called Cowholm, from where it acquired its current name. If you walk further upstream, you eventually arrive at Firebridge and Magdalen Street, a busy road with lots of small shops, cafes and pubs. If you continue up this road, you eventually head northeast out of the city in the direction of Wroxham, the capital of the Broads. Or you could walk from Firebridge south up Magdalen Street for about 70 metres and turn right into Elm Hill, a historic cobbled lane with many buildings dating back to the Tudor period. It's probably the best known of the Norwich lanes and features lots of small shops. But by the early 20th century it had decayed into a slum, and the Norwich Corporation wanted to demolish it. Fortunately, the Norwich Society managed to change the plans, and renovation work commenced in 1927. This much-loved part of the city is gorgeous, and it has been used as a location for various television and film productions. The next bridge upstream from Bridge is St George's Street Bridge, next to the Norwich University of the Arts. And on the other side of this bridge is the Norwich Playhouse. The bar there has a busy beer garden and a great laid-back atmosphere, and I love to meet friends there for refreshments. And not far away on St Andrew's Street is another favourite watering hole of mine. It's the Rumsay Wells pub, which has a great selection of beers which go so well with their savoury moo pies. It used to be said that Norwich had a church for every week of the year and a pub for every day of the year. That's no longer true, but there are still plenty of really good pubs to explore, and many of the redundant churches are well used as art galleries, theatrical spaces and more. Coming back to Norwich as a tourist, I think I appreciate the city even more than I did when I lived here. Maybe it's because the experience is more intense. Maybe I just notice things more. Maybe it's the enjoyment of meeting old friends again. Actually, I think it's all of these things, and I'm already looking forward to my next visit to this fine English city. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe.